What if I told you the deadliest bomber in American history is older than color TV, older than the moon landing, and will still be flying missions long after today's newest jets are retired? This is the B-52 Stratofortress, a war machine built in the 1950s that refuses to die. And here's the craziest part. The U.S. Air Force plans to keep it flying until the year 2055. That means some of these bombers will serve for 100 years. Today we're diving into how this Cold War giant became one of the most unstoppable aircraft ever built, and why no modern plane has replaced it. Welcome to the Time Vault. The B-52 was born at the height of Cold War paranoia. The U.S. needed a bomber that could fly across the planet without stopping, carry nuclear weapons, and reach targets so deep inside enemy territory that no other aircraft could survive the trip. Boeing delivered something beyond anyone's imagination. A jet that could fly for 15 hours straight, reach altitudes of 50,000 feet, and carry enough weapons to level a small country. But everyone expected it to last maybe 20 years, not 7 decades. Fast forward to today, and the B-52 is not only still here, it's being upgraded again for another 30 years of service. Why? Because no matter how advanced warplanes get, nothing replaces raw reliability, staggering range, and the ability to carry any weapon you can think of. Aircrews gave the B-52 a nickname, the Buff, short for Big Ugly Fat Fellow. Well, that's the polite version. Massive, heavy, unapologetically intimidating. But that bulk hides some of the most impressive engineering in aviation history. The wings are so long they visibly sway and flex in flight. The wheels don't turn, they pivot, letting this giant land at odd angles in high winds. And despite its size, it can maneuver shockingly well. The Buff isn't pretty, but it wasn't built to win beauty contests. It was built to outlive everything else in the sky. During the Cold War, the B-52 wasn't just a bomber. It was the backbone of America's nuclear strategy. For decades, the U.S. kept part of the B-52 fleet on constant alert. Crews slept next to their aircraft, ready to take off in minutes if the Soviets launched missiles. Even more insane? Some were on airborne alert, flying nuclear patrols 24/7. Armed, ready, waiting. The chance of nuclear war was so real that the B-52 was essentially a flying doomsday machine. Thankfully, its nuclear payload was never used. But the aircraft's readiness, reliability, and range proved something shocking. The B-52 wasn't just a bomber. It was a deterrent powerful enough to stop World War III. As decades rolled on, the world changed. Wars weren't about nuclear weapons. They were about precision, discipline, and supporting troops on the ground. You'd think the B-52 would become irrelevant. Instead, it became more useful than ever. In Vietnam, it delivered one of the most powerful non-nuclear bombing campaigns in history. In Iraq and Afghanistan, it dropped precision weapons with pinpoint accuracy from 35,000 feet. With modern targeting systems, this 1950s bomber can now hit a single building from hundreds of miles away. Think about that. A plane older than your grandparents can launch a weapon that guides itself using GPS. This is why the B-52 has survived every attempt to replace it. Modern bombers like the B-1 and B-2 are faster or stealthier, but the B-52's killer advantage is simple. It can reach anywhere. This thing can fly nearly 9,000 miles without stopping. Add in aerial refueling, and the B-52 can stay airborne as long as the crew can stay awake. It's basically a flying aircraft carrier, a mobile weapons platform that can loiter for hours and drop dozens of precision weapons when needed. For global missions, nothing else even comes close. Here's the real secret behind the B-52's immortality. The Air Force keeps reinventing it. Every few years, the Stratofortress gets upgraded. New digital cockpit systems, new radars, new communications gear, new weapon integrations, new targeting computers, new electronic warfare suites. And now the biggest upgrade yet, the B-52J engine replacement program. This program gives the bomber new fuel-efficient engines that will extend its range, reduce maintenance, increase power, and keep it combat-ready until 2055. When the upgrades are complete, the B-52J will be a hybrid of old and new, a 1950s frame with 21st century technology injected into every system. It's like giving a classic muscle car a brand new supercharged engine, modern suspension, and digital displays. The frame stays the same. Everything else evolves. The B-52 is so reliable that it has actually outlived the bombers meant to replace it. The B-1 Lancer was supposed to end the B-52's career. Instead, the B-1 fleet is shrinking and aging faster. The B-2 Spirit, one of the most expensive aircraft ever made, requires complex maintenance and limited deployment. The B-21 Raider, America's newest stealth bomber, is still entering production, and even it will serve with the B-52, not instead of it. The lesson? When something works, you keep it. And the B-52 works better than anyone imagined. The B-52 may not be stealthy, but it doesn't need to be. Why? Because it can launch weapons from hundreds of miles away. Modern B-52s can carry precision-guided bombs, cruise missiles, hypersonic weapons, coming soon, anti-ship missiles, smart mines, nuclear gravity bombs, standoff missiles with massive range. This one aircraft can perform almost every mission imaginable: strategic bombing, close air support, maritime strike, nuclear deterrence, long-range missile deployment, psychological warfare. It is, simply put, the Swiss Army knife of bombers. The next major evolution is already in testing: hypersonic weapons. These missiles travel at 5 times the speed of sound, are almost impossible to intercept, and can strike deep inside enemy territory before defenses even react. Pair hypersonics with the B-52's global range, and you get a high-altitude missile platform capable of striking anywhere on Earth in record time. A 1950s bomber launching 21st-century superweapons. This combination makes the B-52 arguably more dangerous today than at any point in its history. The B-52 has survived new presidents, new wars, new technologies, and new generations of pilots. And by the time it finally retires, somewhere around 2055, it will have served for a full century. No fighter jet, no bomber, no aircraft in American history has ever done that. The B-52 Stratofortress is more than a machine. It is a symbol of endurance, engineering brilliance, and American air power. And its story is far from over. If you enjoyed this deep dive into military history, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell. You're watching the Time Vault, where history never stays buried.